Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive coverage of the 18th Annual Tournament of Heroes right here on CSI Sportsnet. Tonight in the first game of our tournament, Wheaton will face Bridgewater in the opening game, followed about a half hour later as the College of Staten Island will take on Curry College. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babusky alongside my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto. And Dave, for the College of Staten Island, looking to defend their Tournament of Heroes championship as the Dolphins were successful defeating Tufts in really a thrilling game in last year's tournament by a final score of 98-94, looking for their fourth tournament victory here tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, Mike. This is the 18th annual, and the Dolphins have only won this tournament 3 times, but they are the defending champs, Mike, and they've won it 3 out of the last 4 years, too, so they've had a real winning pedigree in this tournament as far as the kids that will be on this floor, and obviously head coach T.J. Tibbs as well. But you mentioned it, Mike. Last year, the Dolphins had a lot of success in this tournament. They beat Bates College. They beat Tufts University, 2 teams from a very tough conference. And today they welcome in 3 teams that they've really never seen. They haven't played any of these teams, just Bridgewater once before in this tournament 3 years ago. They beat Bridgewater in this first game. We don't know if they'll meet up again in this tournament, but they'll play Curry later on. But before that, and to determine who gets that first position in the championship final tomorrow, it will be Wheaton against Bridgewater, and what we expect should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, it should be a good game, Dave, and we'll get into that game in just a minute. But let's just spend a quick second talking about the men's basketball team, and not much activity in the month of December, Dave.
No, and that's what we're kind of used to. And, Mike, when the Dolphins went to NCAA Division II, this is a week where the Dolphins really aren't allowed to play basketball. All the D2 teams in the entire nation have this week off, and, of course, last week with finals. But CSI got a waiver to make this tournament happen because at the D3 level they are allowed to play, this tournament. And so they got the free pass from the NCAA. So they're able to host these 3 teams. And, it should be a good one.
Dave, it's been really an interesting start of the season for the Dolphins. They had won 3 out of 4 games before dropping their last 2. A tough loss against Medgar Evers, a game the Dolphins led in the final minute, and then a tough game at Pace, which was the last game the Dolphins played back on December 14th.
Yeah, and they expected the tough one against Pace, Mike. That's the team that's nationally ranked in the Division II, landscape, and so the Dolphins really use their Division II schedule as kind of a litmus test for where they want to be. It's not going to happen this year. It might not happen next year or the year after, but in due time, that's the kind of caliber of basketball that they want to play night in and night out. The loss to Medgar does hurt. It was a smaller gym, small confines. The Dolphins admitted to having problems there, and maybe it'll be a different story when they get Medgar on this court. But still, a game that they had, Mike, in the closing minutes. They had possession of the basketball. They were up by a possession. And then, a couple of turnovers, a missed, free throw or 2. Medgar was able to kind of steal that game away from the Dolphins. And that's what you don't want to see if you're the Dolphins. You don't want to give away games late in the games. And, in fact, you want to be the team that steals them. So, one to grow on, I guess. Usually this tournament, Mike, for all of these teams, kind of signifies the end of the first half of basketball. And after this tournament, that's when things really start getting serious. For all 4 of these teams, they have a lot more conference games to play, and that's when teams have to really turn it up and get ready for the postseason. So this tournament's going to go a long way for all 4 of these teams, and it starts here tonight.
So let's take a look, Dave, at the 2 teams that'll be playing in the opening game. First, Wheaton coming down from Massachusetts, coming in to tonight's game with a record of 3-4 on the year, led by Alex DeBro. He's averaging 17 points a game. Aaron Williams averaging 22 points a game, and they have Robbie Lowy, averaging 16. They have 4 players averaging well over double-digit points a game, and the team coming in to the game tonight averaging 81 points. So they have been successful scoring the basketball.
Yeah, and that's the team that you see on your screen, and you see that this is their first appearance here on Staten Island, so they're in uncharted Waters. But you're right, Mike. They do score points in bunches. They give up points in bunches, too. They're averaging a little bit under 87 points a game. They're giving up a little bit under 87 points a game. They've been consistent in that respect. Their first game of the season, they lost 108 to 107 against Wentworth. They then sprung 2 wins in a row, but they've since lost 3 out of 4. Mike, at Rogers-Williams, they dropped a home game to Emmanuel, and their last loss was against Bridgewater State, not this same Bridgewater team. Sandwiched in between there, a win at LaSalle. But Wheaton is a team, they're 1 game under 500. They're trying to use this tournament to get themselves up over 500 before the second half of their season begins. They're a team coached by Brian Walmsley, who's entering his 23rd season, Mike, at the helm, well over 280 victories. They had a winning season 2 years ago, 6 games over. Last year they finished 500. So they want to put the building blocks together and put another good effort, for their longtime head coach.
Yeah, just to correct the points per game, Dave, they are coming in. They have 6 players averaging double-digit points a game. Alex DeBro, 17.4 points a game. Aaron Williams, 17.8 points a game. So they've been very effective scoring the basketball, as you mentioned. Also shooting just under 47% from the field. Very good shooting team.
Yes, they are, and they shoot well from the free throw line as well. They're about 76% from there. They don't shoot a ton of three-pointers, but when they do, they're fairly efficient. They're shooting over 300, and they don't turn the ball over a great deal. They've only turned the ball over the ball 92 times in 7 games, so it works out to about 14, 15 per game. They're winning that battle against their opponents, and when they keep good possession of the basketball, Mike, when they protect the ball, they tend to do well.
And they'll face tonight Bridgewater coming from Virginia, and Bridgewater coming into tonight's game with a record of 3-6 on the year, and coming off, though, having won 2 out of their last 3, Dave.
Yes, that's right. And Bridgewater, they're 4-6 coming in. They've won 2 out of 3, like you mentioned. They're the only team in this tournament that's coming in on a win, and that win was against the Apprentice School, a little bit over a week ago, the 15th. But they're under first-year head coach Steve Enright, who was a 3-year assistant and later an associate head coach with the team. He wasn't with the team last year. He was assisting Division I VMI and came back to head coach here at Bridgewater. But this is a team that seems to be trending up, Mike. They were here in the 2016-17 edition of the Tournament of Heroes. They lost both ends when they were here, but they know what this tournament's about. They know, what encompasses these 2 days, and they should be better for it.
And both teams are doing pretty well scoring the basketball. Bridgewater coming in averaging 76 points a game, but both teams giving up a lot of points, Dave. Wheaton coming in allowing over 86 points a game. Bridgewater coming in allowing exactly 85 a game.
Yeah, and when you look at the games that both of these teams have lost, they've given up a lot of points in those games. We're talking about, low 90s, mid 90s, over 100 points. So, these two teams would both be better served if they kept the scoring low, they keep the shots contested. That's how both these teams will do a fine job.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Dave. Wheaton coming in their last game against Bridgewater State, and now playing Bridgewater here tonight, playing 2 Bridgewater teams back-to-back.
Yeah, and the ironic thing is that this is their first ever meeting against this Bridgewater side. So a lot of unfamiliarity between these two teams. They're going to get to know each other a lot better over these next 40 minutes.
Yeah, and Dave, we always like to kind of take a look at the opponent schedules to see common opponents. Not really much on the Wheaton side, and as far as common opponents go.
No, not at all, and that's what makes this game very unique, is that it'll be the first time they're seeing one another. You can see on your screen it's Wheaton's first appearance in the tournament, Bridgewater's second. A lot of unfamiliarity. We're going to get to know a lot more about these two teams over the next couple of minutes.
So the players are lining up on the floor. Why don't we step aside for the national anthem, and then we'll be back to bring you the starting lineups. You're watching the opening game of the 18th Annual Tournament of Heroes right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road.
Head of the field to Williams, but a nice defensive play. Coming back to the basketball is Caswell, and he's going to knock it out of bounds, and we're going to have a whistle and a couple of substitutions here. So the Eagles making a couple of substitutions here early in the game as Monty Skimpson checks in, and driving the ball to the basket is Aaron Williams, and he lays it up and in. So Williams with all 7 Lions points here in the early going, and he will go to the free throw line looking to complete the 3-point play. That foul is going to be on TJ Turner. TJ just checking into the game. The 5'10", 175-pound senior from Newport News, Virginia, as Williams will go to the free throw line and attempt to tie the game up here. As his free throw is up, no good. Williams missing both of his free throws, and the Eagles control the rebound. Bowser with the basketball, looking to work against Cook. Passes the ball out of bounds, so it'll be the Eagles turning the ball over now. And it will be Lions basketball down by 1, 8-7.
Yeah, Mike, want to apologize if we got bumped off the air for a couple of seconds. Our internet went down here. The entire gym went down at one time. So we're working on our scoreboard interface, but otherwise we should be okay.
Williams putting up that three-pointer. It's up no good. The ball tipped around, but can't be controlled by Greer as the ball kicked back now for the open three-pointer by Carlisle. That's no good. And this time the Eagles grab the basketball, but turn it over immediately as Carlisle looking to break inside, but he's going to be fouled on the play as Monty Simpkins, who just checked into the game, will pick up the foul. Simpkins, the 6'4" senior from Fort Washington, Maryland, will pick up the foul. And we're going to have the whistle on the floor, and we're going to have our first timeout of the afternoon. 15:38 remaining here in this first half with the score. Eagles 8, Lions 7. You're watching Tournament of Heroes coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back with 15 minutes, 38 seconds remaining here in this first half. The Eagles lead the Lions by a score of 8-7. And Williams with all 7 Lion points here in the early going, as it will be Wheaton to inbound the basketball, as Ricardo Ripley, who's just checked into the game, will inbound for the Lions.
Thanks, Mike, and I want to thank our staff across the way for fixing our scoreboard issues. We had some tech difficulties, but engineer Nick Durst on it and the rest of the crew taking care of us here as we have another turnover here on Bridgewater's way.
You know, Dave, we mentioned how well both these teams had done with turnovers here in the early going, but both teams turning the ball over early here tonight.
Yeah, that's true, and we'll keep our eye on that statistic right now. There have been 8 turnovers in total. Bridgewater with 5 of them.
So now it's Carlisle looking to lob the ball inside to Lowry. Lowry feeds it over nicely that time to Ripley, who lays it up and in. Nice pass that time by the Lions.
Yeah, Lowry just was kind of in the perfect, harmony with, with his teammate there, and it was a nice no-look behind-the-back pass to get a runner in the lane.
So now it'll be Bridgewater with the basketball, as that's Bowser looking to back in. Now he working the ball out to Simpkins. Simpson's kicking it out to Turner. Turner's jumper is up, no good. And both teams kind of looking around for the rebound before it's ultimately grabbed by Sakuchetsky, as that ball is going to be another whistle and a foul on the play.
Yeah, it seems like Wheaton is being very deliberate about getting the ball inside, Mike, and looking for, baskets underneath or at least some body underneath, and we saw it there on that last exchange down the floor.
So that's going to be a foul on Sam Manganiello, who checked into the game. That's going to be his first. 5 team fouls already here for the Eagles in the early going as the ball gets worked out now to Lowry. Now it's Ripley with the basketball, kicking the ball out as the Wheaton team doing a nice job working the ball around quickly now with 10 seconds to shoot. Dubrow with the basketball. Dubrow working out to Carlisle. Carlisle's floater in the lane is up, no good. And there to grab the rebound of the Eagles as the Eagles looking to run, as that's Simpkins, but he's going to be fouled out on the floor.
Yeah, that basket will not count. That was a nice play the other way by Carlisle to get into the lane, and kiss off the glass was just a little bit too strong, did everything but finish. And the fouls keep coming here, Mike, now. 8 total fouls, 5 for Bridgewater, 3 for Wheaton.
Yeah, so a lot of fouls here in the early going as it's the Eagles now with the basketball, as that's Turner. Turner looking to work his way inside. That off-balance shot is up, no good. And going up high for the rebound is Dubrow for the Lions. Dubrow using the pick, working the ball out in the corner now to Carlisle. Now it's Lowry with the long jumper. That's no good. And going up high for the rebound is Simpkins as the Eagles look to run. Turner. Long cross-court pass now over to Murray. His jumper is no good. And the rebound controlled now by the Lions.
Yeah, Bridgewater is getting the looks, Mike. They're just not finishing now. Down to 30% from the field here, 3 for 10.
Dubrow with the basketball, looking to drive inside, uses his body nicely, can't hit the shot, and it's Hodge to grab the rebound now. Feed inside, it's going to be turned over, and that's going to be the 6th turnover for Bridgewater as they look to come down the floor. Carlisle has his shot blocked, but it looks like the Eagles are going to be on the baseline when they grab the rebound, as I believe that was Simpkins with the rebound, but it will be possession now for Wheaton College, as we're going to have another substitution. It's Evan Cook checking into the game. Both teams going to the bench here early, Dave.
Yep, and that's a product, obviously, of the fouls and the feverish play back and forth on each side. A lot of transition basketball. Then that last sequence, that was a nice block by Hodge, and Bridgewater couldn't capitalize with the rebound.
Lima working the ball over to Cook, but his shot will go over the backboard and out of bounds, so it will be Eagle basketball.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Bridgewater kind of slowing it down now at half speed as they set up the half-court offense.
So it's Langston working the ball up over to Murray. Murray's spinning shot in the lane is no good, and the rebound will be grabbed there by Lowry, and it'll be Cook bringing up the ball up the floor. Over to Lima, and his three-pointer is good, so Lima comes off the bench and buries the 3.
Yeah, first basket of the game, and Wheaton needed that. They were kind of idle for a while on 9 points. They're just 5 of 15 from the floor in total.
So the Lions now in the middle of a 10-3 run to take their biggest lead of the game, which is 4. Working his way inside and taking the ball right to the basket and laying it in is Simpkins. Nice move that time by the senior.
Yeah, that was a real beautiful move on his first shot of the game and getting on the scoreboard for the first time.
Cook working the ball over to Sakuchetsky. That shot's no good. And here comes Turner with the basketball. Turner, bounce pass inside to Simpkins. Pass over to the corner. Now it's Turner putting up the long baseline jumper, and it's good. Nice shot that time by T.J. Turner as he picks up his first basket of the game.
Yeah, and after missing his first 2 shots, Mike, he was kind of getting gun-shy when left open, and that time kind of took a sidestep and buried it. That's got to feel good and a big confidence booster for him.
So now it's going to be the Lions with the basketball as that's Lima. feeding the ball over to Cook. Now Ripley, nice feed inside that time to Lowry. He can't hit the shot, but Wheaton able to come away with the rebound. Another three-point opportunity by Ripley is good.
Yeah, it's a second chance opportunity, too.
Nice hustle play that time by Wheaton, but they can't keep the ball inside. As that shot's up, no good. The rebound put up that time by Simpkins is no good. Now the Lions come away with the basketball. Nice feed ahead of the field to Lowry, who lays it up and in. Bridgewater not getting back quick enough on that one, Dave.
No, and, missing a wide-open three and then a putback off the offensive glass, and that's what led to the spring the other way. And Lowy doing well to just drain the easy layup.
5-0 run now for the Lions since Bridgewater tied up the game. The floater by Murray is no good. And now the Lions will come away with the basketball once again as that's Cook. Cook looked to work the ball inside. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it will remain in possession of the Lions as we have an opportunity to see that three-pointer by Lima on the.
Yeah, and we'll have a media timeout as a result, Mike, with the stoppage of play.
So we'll step aside, take a break. 10 minutes, 21 seconds remaining here in the first half. Lions 17, Eagles 12. Watching 18th Annual Tournament of Heroes coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back with 10 minutes, 21 seconds remaining here in this first half, Dave. It's been a wild, fast-paced half. 35 shots put up already, Dave. 26 rebounds and 10 turnovers as taking the ball to the basket and laying the ball up and in is going to be
That was Lowy.
it was Lowy with the basket. And here we'll go to the free throw line looking to complete the three-point play, but team's really flying up and down the floor, Dave.
Yeah, and I was going to say one thing that subsided was all the fouls that were being called, but that time Lowy got fouled going up. He's been in and around the hoop, Mike, pretty much all half, and a chance to put this team up by 80, fails on the point after, but still a nice job underneath by Lowy.
Yeah, and the Lions have had three chances to make a three-point play, 0 for 3 from the line, so they haven't completed one of them yet. As now it's Bridgewater with the basket and taking the ball to the basket and laying the ball up and in nicely that time for the Eagles will be Liam Caswell.
Yeah, breaks up a little run by Wheaton, cuts the lead to 5.
Yeah, 7-0 run for Wheaton, knocked off as that's Cook with the basketball. And now the Lions will look to set up with Lowry. Lowry feeding the ball back up over to Lima. At 7 seconds on the shot clock, the long three-pointer put up that time by Dubrow is up no good, and we're going to have a whistle, Dave, and a loose ball foul on the Lions.
Yeah, Lowy was positioned between two defenders underneath and might have used a little bit too much elbow to get up over the defense and put back in. So obviously that doesn't count, and possession will go over to the Eagles.
And a big foul on Lowry, Dave, as he picks up his second midway through this first half. Lions looking to feed the ball inside to Hodge, who's able to lay it up and in. So the 6'6" freshman.
I don't know, Mike. I think that was number 32, Fletcher Jackson.
So it's Jackson, the 6'5" freshman, laying it up and in to draw the Eagles to within 3.
Yeah, Jackson was one of 4 Bridgewater players that came in on that TV timeout.
Williams working the ball in the corner to Lima, and his jumper is good. And Lima with a couple of three-pointers since checking into the game. He has 6, and the floating it up in the lane is Caswell. So he's scored a couple of baskets and feeding it right down the floor to Williams as he lays it up and in. And boy, Dave, this is old ABA-style basketball.
I was going to say, it's like watching the Globetrotters here, just back and forth, pretty move after pretty move. And, Caswell with a great move on Bridgewater's end and kind of gets trumped by the fast break the other way.
So now it's Bowser. He dumps the ball off now to Greer. Greer pulling up. His long jumper is up. No good. And Williams there to grab the rebound for the Lions. Dubrow taking it coast to coast. His shot's going to be blocked but knocked out of bounds. So it will remain Lion basketball with 22 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Yeah, Dubrow, one of the seniors on this Wheaton team, wanted the foul there, had a long chat with the official, but that was a good clean block by Davrion Greer.
3 blocks.
We get to see it again.
Yeah, 3 blocks early in the game, Dave, for this Eagle basketball team.
Yeah, you can tell they have the advantage with the height.
Lima working the ball out along the baseline. Now they feed it inside to Lowry. Extra pass now, Carlisle, but he's going to get called for the travel before putting the ball on the floor. So a turnover this time will be called on the Lions as they pick up their 4th turnover of the afternoon. Carlisle with 3 of those turnovers.
Yeah, Carlisle flashed that ball to his right, then stepped to his left, and took a little bit too much of a shuffle there.
Caswell working it up over to Greer, and Greer's long three-pointer is good.
Yeah, and Bridgewater has had those open looks, Mike, from the perimeter. They haven't really been hitting on them. They were 2 of 7 from three-point range before that last bucket.
Dubrow with the basketball. Long cross-court pass now to Carlisle as he'll bounce the ball inside to Lowry. Lowry staying in the game with 2 fouls. Now it's Williams. Williams looking to drive his way inside. Instead, he's going to lose the handle, and it'll be a turnover now for Wheaton. A couple of back-to-back turnovers, and now they have 5, and we're going to have a whistle and a timeout on the floor, Dave. Why don't we keep it right here and talk a little bit about this 18th annual tournament and what it all means.
Sure, yeah. Obviously, some people who are joining us from the Bridgewater and Wheaton communities, we welcome you, obviously, to the College of Staten Island. And this tournament, Mike, is in its 18th year. It honors 3 former Dolphins who perished in the September 11, 2001 attacks at the World Trade Center. Terrence Aiken was a member of the CSI basketball team for only 1 year in the mid-'90s. He was working at Vital Computer Technologies in Manhattan at the time of the attack, got into work early. It was only his first week on the job, Mike. A very sad story. Terry was just 30 years old. He left behind a wife and 3 children. And then Scott Davidson and Tom Hannafin, 33 and 36 years old, respectively, were firefighters in the New York City Fire Department from Brooklyn and Manhattan, respectively. And, Tom Hannafin's unit was one decimated by the attacks. His house was based in Greenwich Village, and Scott Davidson was pretty much a fixture here at CSI. He would come long after his playing days. He played from 86 to 89 and was part of Tony Petosa's first ever team. There was over 3,000 people, Mike, that lost their lives, in the attacks, and we had 3 very near and dear to us. And every year this tournament gives us a chance to remember them, and around the holidays, bring those families back and remember the lives of those 3 individuals.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that during the course of the doubleheader tonight and tomorrow as the Eagles working the ball inside, and the shot put up by Langston is going to be knocked away, and now it's going to be the Lions with the basketball as Dubrow will hand the ball off as it's now Lowry. Now Williams drawing a double team. Kicking the ball out to Dubrow. And now it's Ripley with 12 on the shot clock. He tries to feed the ball inside. It's nearly stolen away, but now it's going to be Carlisle with the open three-pointer. That's good.
Yeah, it took Wheaton a little while to kind of figure out the zone defense for Bridgewater there, and then we were finally able to identify a wide-open Carlisle on the baseline for three-point range, and he made it hurt as the Lions have opened up a 6-point lead.
So Carlisle hits his first basket in 4 attempts, as that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, but it will remain Eagle basketball with 17 to shooters. You have an opportunity to see Carlisle bury that three-pointer from the baseline.
Yeah, and the shot was good, but what was better was finding him, through the trees down low. Wheaton doing a nice job of identifying the open player.
So Caswell now feeding it back to Greer. Greer putting up the three-pointer. That's no good. And Williams is there to grab the rebound. And now it's going to be the Lions with the basketball.
Yeah, both teams, Mike, started ice cold from the floor, and since then both teams have really heated up. Wheaton's now shooting 44% as a team, and Bridgewater just a hair under 40%.
So Williams not able to convert on that layup, Dave, but the Eagles not able to grab the rebound, so it will remain Lion basketball as they have the ball and a 6-point lead, which I do believe is their biggest of the night.
It's actually 7, Mike. They led 19-12 at one point, but with a basket here, they would overtake that.
So now it's Williams. Williams trying to fight his way inside, and the freshman lays it up and in. Boy, Dave, he's got a lot of size and strength, and able to take that one right to the basket.
Yeah, and Greer, who's not playing with any winning fouls, had some soft defense there that time, Mike, as Bridgewater's going to turn the ball over again, this time via an offensive foul.
Yeah, and it's Sam Mangello that's able to draw the offensive foul, and picking up his second foul is going to be Will Bowser. So Bowser now with 2 fouls for the Lions, for the Eagles, I should say, and it'll be Wheaton to inbound the basketball.
Yeah, and a quick official timeout as equipment problem with T.J. Turner. He got that fixed. And so now with their biggest lead, Mike, Wheaton, a chance to grow it.
Carlisle, a beautiful feed that time as Manganiello able to lay it up and in, and the Eagles open up fall behind by double digits now, 31-21.
Yeah, nice pass by DeBrow, too. Sorry, Mike.
No problem. Simpkins. Now it's Langston. Eagles need a basket here, and taking the ball right to the hoop and laying it up and in is Davion Greer. And that's what the Eagles need to do, Dave, is try to work the ball inside a little bit more.
Yeah, they've been able to do that. They just haven't finished at times, but they've been successful there.
Williams putting up the three-pointer. That's no good. And going up strong to grab the rebound that time is Manganiello, and he's going to instead pick up the foul.
No, actually, Mike, that was a jump ball. So as we get another look at that replay on Wheaton's last basket.
So the jump ball possession arrow goes to Bridgewater. So Bridgewater with the basketball now trailing by 8. Greer. Nice move to get inside Williams and lay it up and in. So Greer with the last 4 points to draw the Eagles to within 6.
Yeah, he's been good, and Greer now has 9 points on 4 of 7 shooting, and he also leads the team with 5 rebounds, so he's having himself a nice first half.
So now the Lions trying to work the ball inside. As that time floating it up was Manganiello, but unable to hit the shot, but the Lions will maintain possession with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, you get to see the pretty move there by Greer. Nice drive inside, and a great effort to lose Aaron Williams defensively.
So it will be the Lions to inbound the basketball now with 4:31 remaining here in this first half, as that's Lowry who's going to get called for the travel. So that's going to be the 5th turnover on Wheaton here in this first half, and it'll give the Eagles an opportunity to cut into this 6-point deficit.
Yeah, so Wheaton's still a +1 in the turnover column, but that was just a unforced turnover that time by Lowy.
So now Turner with the long 3-pointer. That's no good, but going up high is Langston for the rebound. Turner out by the 3-point line, feeds it over to Simpkins. Simpkins now working it back up over to Caswell. His 3-pointer is no good, and Lowy there to grab another rebound as it's going to be the Lions looking to run. Dubrow with the basketball. His layup is up, no good, and the rebound is going to be grabbed by Greer. And here comes Bridgewater taking it coast to coast is Turner. He misses the layup, but he'll draw the foul.
Yeah, Turner really flashed that speed that time. He'll get himself to the line as we're going to have a media timeout again here, Mike.
So with 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the first half, let's take a break. Lions 31, Eagles 25. You're watching the 18th Annual Tournament of Heroes coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We're back with 3:43 remaining here in this first half. The Lions leading the Eagles by 6, 31-25, as TJ Turner goes to the free throw line and the senior hits his first.
First made free throw of the evening, Mike, for either team. Bridgewater was 0 for 1 to that point, and Wheaton 0 for 3 from the line to start things off. And these two teams are both pretty good and at the free throw line all season long so far.
As Turner hits both his free throws, he came in average with a hitting 81% from the line.
And Mike, very quietly, Bridgewater now with a 6-0 run have reduced a 10-point deficit now to just 4 as we close inside the last 4 minutes of the half.
So now the Eagles try to press in the backcourt, but the Lions able to break it. That long three-pointer is up way off, and the rebound will be grabbed by Langston as he'll bring the ball up the floor. Langston now working the ball out in the corner now to Simpkins. His long three-pointer is up, no good. Nobody on the weak side for the rebound that time except Lions, and they have the basketball.
Yeah, and Wheaton has let Bridgewater shoot from three-point range, Mike. Just shots not falling from beyond the arc.
Carlisle's shot is in and out, and Langston grabs the ball once again now for Bridgewater. Caswell, short jumper in the lane is up, no good. And the rebound grabbed by Manganiello.
Yeah, that was a good look by Caswell. Short little jumper.
Dubrow kicking the ball in the corner. The open three-pointer that time by Carlisle is no good, but he's able to grab his own rebound. Now Dubrow with the three-pointer. That's no good. And the rebound's going to be grabbed by Canty, who checked into the game for the Eagles, but it's going to be stolen once again by Dubrow, and they're able to lay it up and in. So the basket now by Manganiello. He's got 4, and the Lions open their lead back to 6.
Yeah, Manganiello wanted space, and he got it from the Bridgewater defense. Got to be a little stronger there defensively right there at the edge of the box.
So now it's Greer looking to back his way in. He kicks the ball out to the three-point line to Langston. Langston bouncing the ball inside with 7 on the shot clock, as now Caswell puts up the three-pointer, and he buries it.
Yeah, Mike, and those three-pointers have been there all night for Bridgewater. They're just 4 of 13 from beyond the arc, so the shots just haven't fallen, but those have been the kind of looks Bridgewater has gotten all evening long.
Caswell now leading the Eagles in scoring with 10 as that shot's up no good. A nice rebound that time by Lowry, and he gets it out over to Cook, whose three-pointer is good. And we're going to have a whistle and a timeout on the floors. You have an opportunity to take a look at that three-pointer buried by Liam Caswell. So 36-30 the score. It looks like it's going to be a full timeout. So let's step aside, take a break. 1:39 remaining here in the first half. Lions lead 36-30. You're watching CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-44.
We're back as the Eagles bring the ball up the floor, trailing by 6 as we have 90 seconds remaining here in this first half. Greer with the basketball. Greer handing the ball off to Langston. A beautiful feed inside that time, looking for Greer, but he's going to be fouled on the play. And that's going to be the 6th team foul. Let's see if they rule it a shooting foul. Interesting, Dave, they do.
Yeah, it looks like he was in the act of at least going up. Dubrow with a good foul because unimpeded to the basket was Greer, so he'll have to earn it on the free throw line. And Bridgewater now falls to 2 of 4 from the free throw line.
So Greer misses the first. Came in shooting 67% from the free throw line. You see Devon's stats up on the board, 9.6 rebounds. His second free throw was up, no good, so both teams struggling a little bit from the line. A nice pass ahead of the field to Williams, who lays it up and in. And Dave, for a big man who's just a freshman, that was a nice catch. Gather your feet and lay it up and in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, it's all predicated on the free throw miss that allows Wheaton to go the other way. And it's been an unorthodox shooting day from the line. There you could see the beautiful pass. That was like Aaron Rodgers style there over 2 defenders, Mike, to find the open Williams.
Yeah, it looked like Fletcher Jackson might have been in position, Dave, to knock that ball away. Instead, he kind of fanned on it. And like we said, Williams did a great job catching, gathering, and laying it up and in. As he has 13 points, he scored the first 7 for the Lions to start the game and now leads all scorers with 13 as Greer is able to hit his first.
And Williams has only played 11 of the 19 minutes so far, so he got a big spell on the bench as well.
So Greer able to hit both of his free throws and make it a 4-point game as they feed the ball inside to Williams, who lays it up and in. And you know what, Dave? If I'm Wheaton, I'm doing that until the Eagles stop it.
Yeah, and when he was in the game earlier, that was the game plan. Just feed underneath. They got away from that a little bit. Right back to it.
Yeah, as Greer puts up that three-pointer. Coming in and taking that long three-pointer that time is Dubrow. He misses the shot, and the Eagles come away with the rebound. As now it's T.J. Turner with the basketball. Nearly loses possession. Nice play by Greer to gather. Beautiful feed inside that time as Simpkins looked like he had the open lane. Nice defensive play. Able to bounce back on the lines and then draw the offensive foul. Real good defense on that sequence by Wheaton.
Yeah, Patrick Ode. That was a great job by him to, recuperate defensively and make a block shot and then draw the charge as well. So nice sequence there for the senior Patrick Ode.
So it's going to be the Lions with the basketball. The shot clock is off. They lead by 8 and have an opportunity to take the final shot here in this first half.
And if they make a field goal here, they would match their biggest lead of the game, 10 points, possibly take their biggest lead into the locker room.
And it's Dubrow with the basketball, and Dubrow putting up that open three-pointer. That's up no good, and that's going to do it. 1 half in the books. Wheaton leading by a score of 40-32. Pretty entertaining first half, Dave.
Yeah, it's been great. Back and forth action. We have a little bit of, plagued with the turnovers, early, but both teams steadied in that department. It's been a well-rebounded game, well played. The fouls kind of relented towards the second half of the first stanza, and we had a good first 20 minutes, Mike, and if it's any indication, we should have a pretty good second 20 as well.
So we're at halftime here at this 18th annual Tournament of Heroes Championship. Lions lead the Eagles by a score of 40-32. What we're going to do is step aside. We'll take a break for a few minutes. Then we'll be back to bring you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half as you're watching 18th annual Tournament of Heroes coverage right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back here at halftime where the Wheaton College Lions lead the Bridgewater Eagles by a score of 40-32 in what was a very entertaining, fast-paced first half, Dave. First half that saw 21 separate players come into the game for both teams. 75 shots put up, Dave. 51 rebounds. 31 three-point attempts.
Yeah.
Wild offensive first half, Dave.
Yeah, and you could see the statistics on your screen, and you could see, there's definitely a lot more shots that have been taken by Wheaton. They fired off 11 more shots. Some of that, of course, having to do with turnovers. But, Bridgewater's had the open looks, Mike. I think their looks have been more open than Wheaton's, but they just haven't been able to connect from downtown. You see the cold shooting numbers from beyond the arc, just south of 29%. And, that's really been the difference. Everything else has been pretty even. And I think we don't have points in the paint in front of us, but I think when Wheaton kind of reorganized its game to really play down low with the likes of Lowy and Williams, I think that's when, we started to see them take over the second half of the first half.
Yeah, so, Wheaton fell down early by a score of 5-2, but has led by as many as 10 in this game and go into halftime with an 8-point lead. And, Aaron Williams, Dave, has been very impressive. The freshman coming in averaging just under 18 points a game, had 15 points in the first half. But the second leading scorer for Wheaton College, Alex Dubrow, who's coming in averaging 17.5 points, 0 for 8 from the field, Dave, including 0 for 4 from the three-point line. So if you're Wheaton, I guess you got to feel pretty good going into halftime with an 8-point lead. One of your leading scorers hasn't scored yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also feel good about the fact that you're a team that gets to the line, fairly often, and you only had 3 free throw attempts in that first half, and you missed them all. So Wheaton has no points from the free throw line in this game. Like you said, they've gotten no points so far from Dubrow, although he's contributed in other ways. He does have 5 assists. He has a steal as well. But you'd like to think that in the second half, at least, he'll kind of turn that around and he'll start to deliver more offensively. But Wheaton otherwise has done pretty good offensively. We mentioned how both of these teams are able to score points, but they've also given up their fair share of points. Wheaton's done well defensively. Some of it's just been cold shooting by Bridgewater, Mike. I think they had a lot of open looks in that first half. They just simply could not connect. They, too, missed 3 free throws as well. And, if not for the lightning in a bottle play of Davrion Greer, they'd be in some hot water here because he converted really when he had to on the inside to get Bridgewater kind of back involved in the game when Wheaton looked like it might pull away. So Bridgewater's going to have to find some of its shooting touch in the second half.
Yeah, and, Dave, you look at the offensive numbers for Bridgewater in the first half. Davrion Greer, 4 of 8, 6 rebounds, 11 points. Liam Caswell, 4 of 6 from the field, including 2 of 3 from the three-point line. He has 10, but the rest of the Wheaton College, Dave, the rest of the Bridgewater team, just 4 of 18 from the field.
Yeah, and that's really what's going to hurt them, especially when you keep in mind the shooting from beyond the arc. Greer and Caswell have combined to shoot 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. The rest of the team just 1 of 7. As you get a good look at some of the replays and some of the highlights of the first half being prepared for you by Nick Durst, you see some of the transition buckets that time by Lowy and the like. So it's really it's been fast-paced, like you mentioned. It's been back and forth at times, and really Wheaton had the better stretches where they really took a more commanding lead. You get the baseline 3 that time, and just all around a good first half for Wheaton, something to build on, and Bridgewater's going to have to come from behind, have a good second half to get themselves back into it.
So Bridgewater with 3 players with 2 personal fouls, Jaleel Langston, Chandler Murray, and Will Bowser. For the Wheaton Lions, only 1 player with 2 fouls, and that's Robbie Lowery. So why don't we step aside? We'll take one final break here, and then we'll be back to bring you the second half as you're watching Wheaton play Bridgewater in the opening game of this 18th annual Tournament of Heroes Championship right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Finishing up the halftime segment here between Wheaton and Bridgewater. The Lions with an 8-point lead. They led by as many as 10 in the first half. David Pizzuto alongside Mike Babuski, who will be joining me in just a few moments as we'll bring you second half action. Game 1 of a 18th annual Tournament of Heroes doubleheader. The featured game of the evening will be the College of Staten Island taking on Curry College. That approximate tip-off time, 7:30. That will follow a special memorial to Terrence Aiken, Scott Davidson, and Tom Hannafin. And then after that memorial celebration, about 8 to 10 minutes, we'll have the tip-off for Game 2 between CSI and Curry. Mike, this is a tournament that you and I have been involved with for many years. The Dolphins have only won 3 times in the previous 17 years, and that's because we're used to this tournament bringing out some of the nation's best programs. This is the first year ever where all 4 teams are coming in with sub-500 records. So that's not to say that these teams are having down years. They're really building their programs to be something special in the future. But this is a tournament that has really shown some great basketball through the years.
Yeah, it really has. It's really been exciting, and you know, things really come full circle, Dave. Of course, we can remember TJ Tibbs participating in these Tournament of Heroes games, and you know, and playing well for the Dolphins, although they never won, I don't believe.
I don't think so. Yeah.
When he was on the team, and now he's back as head coach. And I just happened to pass him just a minute ago, asking him how he feels about Curry College and his chances. He feels they're a very solid team, and you know, the Dolphins are going to come out and need to play their best basketball to come out with a victory here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I know at the beginning of the season when I asked TJ about the pairings and the matchups, you know, he said it doesn't really matter who we play in the first round. They're all, you know, going to be a tough game for our team, and you know, we could see why. Both of these two teams have shown some real positive signs in the first half, and should be in for a good 20 minutes here to end things in Game 1.
Yeah, so, you know, we mentioned both teams really running up and down the floor, and, you know, lots of opportunities at the basket, and now it's going to be Wheaton with the opening possession here in the second half. And, You know, Dave, we mentioned before, you got to feel pretty confident Wheaton with their 8-point lead and their second leading scorer yet to score.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to feel good about that. And quick three to start things off.
As Carlisle takes that three, that's no good. It's Caswell with the rebound. And now it's going to be Bridgewater with the basketball as they look to feed the ball inside. That's Greer. Greer working it out to Turner. His three-pointer will be off the shot clock and out of bounds, so it will be Lion basketball.
And it's interesting, Mike, during the half, we mentioned how both teams really, when they decided to dedicate themselves inside, really had success. And here we go, first possession for each team in the second. They shoot long-range three-pointers.
As Williams' jumper from the free throw line is up and good, so Aaron started out strong in the first half, scored their first 7, gets their first basket here in half number 2.
Yeah, he had a big smile on his face after he shot that one. He shared an inside joke with one of his teammates there as he put one up from the free throw line and got it to go.
Yeah, that time Greer misses the layup, and the Lions come away with the basketball and an opportunity with a basket to take their biggest lead of the game. As Lowry has that shot blocked away by Greer. His second shot is also blocked by Greer. His third attempt is up and in. Nice job by Lowry sticking with it. Good defense that time by Greer as he picked up a couple of blocks. He now has 4. But the Lions come away with the basket and their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to Robbie Lowy. I mean, when you get blocked twice underneath, you know, sometimes kids lose confidence, but he stayed with it, Mike, and on probably the hardest of the 3 layups, that's the one he got to go. Great job by Robbie.
So now it's going to be the Lions with the basketball looking to build on a 12-point lead. They've scored the only 4 points so far in the second half. That shot's no good, and it's Turner with the rebound. Turner feeding it to Langston. That shot's going to be partially blocked, and it's going to be Lowy to grab the basketball for Wheaton.
Lowy, great job defensively, too, waiting it out and waiting till Langston elevated before he went up and got a piece of the shot.
Williams looking to back his way in against a couple of defenders, puts the ball back on the floor. Now feeds it over to Dubrow. That shot's going to be up and no good. But now he's going to go to the free throw line with a chance to take a couple of shots as the 5'9 senior from Foxborough will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, so Dubrow now with a chance from the free throw line where Wheaton has not connected on tonight. They're 0 for 3 from the line, and Dubrow rights that ship as he is now 46 of 56 from the line, one of their best free throw shooters, now shooting 82%.
So 5-0 run to start the second half so far for the Lions as they hit 1 of 2 and have a 13-point lead.
Yeah, Wheaton has a team 76% from the free throw line, and tonight they are 1 for 5.
Greer with the basketball, hands it off to Turner. Turner's pass inside is going to be deflected away nicely that time by Dubrow. And now the Eagles lose the basketball as that's going to be Cook. Cook stutter stepping his way inside. His pass is going to be knocked out of bounds. So it will remain Lion basketball with 23 to shoot. And the Eagles yet to score here, Dave, in half number 2.
Yeah, and they better start getting on that ledger. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves having to kind of chip away for the entire second half.
Williams' pass inside is going to be turned over as Greer comes away with the basketball. But then the Eagles turn it right back over. Cook tried to take it to the hoop, and that's going to be knocked away once again by Greer. That's going to be Greer's 4th shot block of the night.
Yeah, and Bridgewater's 6th as a team. And meanwhile, they've committed 12 turnovers, too, so they were able to kind of rebound. Oh, there's another emphatic block. Good look that time on the replay.
So the Lions looking to inbound the basketball. They get it into Carlisle. Carlisle picks up his dribble, and his pass is nearly stolen away, but it will remain in possession of the Lions with 15 seconds on the shot clock. So Cook to inbound the basketball. Gets it over to Carlisle. Now Dubrow. Dubrow, nice feed inside to Lowy, who lays it up and in. And that time, Caswell a step behind defensively, Dave.
Yeah, and that's what we mentioned. You know, Dubrow has struggled from the floor. here tonight. He's 0 for 8, only has 1 point on the evening, but that was his 6th assist, and that was a beautiful pass inside to Lowy.
Now it's driving it to the basket is Caswell. He misses the first, but puts it back up and in, and now the Eagles finally getting on the scoreboard here in the second half.
I'm not surprised. It was on their inside drive that merits them that field goal. Mike, they're just 4 of 16 from beyond the arc.
You have an opportunity to see that nice reverse layup by Lowry as TJ Turner's going to pick up his second foul. Team second, so it's going to be the Lions to inbound the basketball now with 23 on the shot clock. Nice feed inside to Williams, who lays it up and in. And Williams has been the best offensive player of the night for the Lions. He now has 19 points, as that layup is going to be up no good, but we're going to have a whistle and a foul. And
yeah, but that's absolutely what Bridgewater needs to do, is they need to attack the inside. Not only that, but try to pick up some fouls underneath the other way on their big guys, Lowy and Williams. That time the foul was called on Carlisle, but it will send Greer to the free throw line.
That's Greer's first free throw is up no good, so the teams continue struggling from the line. The Bridgewater team now 4 of 8, just 1 of 5 from the line for Wheaton, as Greer will have one more.
Yeah, Greer came into tonight 67% from the free throw line, making 2 out of every 3 essentially. Now he's 3 for 7 on the evening, runs his total up to 12 points, now a share of the team lead.
As Lowry not looking for the basketball, nearly stolen away, but a nice play by Ricardo Ripley to recover now for the Lions. Ripley working the ball out over to Carlisle. Carlisle cross-court pass up over to Ripley. His reverse layup is no good. Lowry able to keep the ball in bounds, though. 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the Lions. Putting up the off-balance three-pointer is DeBro, so he gets his first basket of the night. He's got 4. 17-point lead, Dave, now for the Lions.
And another turnover here as we'll have a TV timeout.
So we're going to have our first media timeout of the second half. We'll step aside, take a break. 15:32 remaining. Lions 52, Eagles 35. You're watching the 18th annual Tournament of Heroes coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-44.
Welcome back here to the CSI Sports and Recreation Center. While we have a moment, we want to remind you that summer courses are now open for registration at the College of Staten Island. You can beat the rush and register today. Both CSI students as well as all New York City residents can take advantage of the great value of a CUNY and CSI class. Register now at www.csi.cuny.edu/summer.
Yeah, and Dave, we have an opportunity to talk to our friends up in Massachusetts and Virginia tonight. You come in, you enroll for a summer course, you get to hang out on Staten Island right by New York City. A really great way to graduate quicker and experience New York City at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm sure what we're going to see, too, is, especially for CSI's game, is a lot of the CSI residents who are still here, the athletes at least, who are occupying the residence halls, come out and be a part of things here for Game 2 because they're taking winter courses as well. So plenty going on here at CSI.
So Williams using his size and strength to lay it up and in, and it's now a 19-point lead, 14-3. Wheaton here, Dave, to start the second half.
Yeah, very little answer right now for Bridgewater. For Williams, who's now 10 of 14 from the floor. He's got 21 points, and he's played just 17 minutes.
Yeah, this Bridgewater team really needs some offense, and they get it as putting up the three-pointer and burying it is Chandler Murray. That's Chandler's first basket of the night, Dave.
Yeah, and they've had those looks. They just haven't been able to make all those plays. As we get another look at the once again the play inside, you can see the dominance that Williams is showing.
10 of 14 for Aaron, 21 points for the freshman, and boy, if you're a Wheaton College fan, you got to be pretty excited about having a freshman player like that, Dave.
Oh yeah.
As that ball's going to go through the hands of Carlisle and out of bounds, so Wheaton turns the ball over for the 9th time tonight.
Yeah, and even though that's their 9th turnover, there's still a +4 in that department. And they've forced 3 turnovers for Bridgewater here in the first 5+ minutes.
So now it's Bridgewater with the basketball. They need points here, down by 16. Still plenty of time remaining here in half number 2. As putting up the jumper and burying it is Will Bowser. As the pass is going to be ahead of the field to Ripley, who lays it up and in. And boy, Dave, that's bad defense allowing a layup off a made basket.
Yeah, nice make there for Bridgewater, but they're just late getting back defensively, kind of admiring the shot. And as a result, Wheaton gets it right back.
56-40 is putting up the long three-pointer, and burying it is Murray. So Murray hadn't scored at all, Dave. 2 back-to-back three-pointers.
Yeah, that's got to feel good for him, as well as Bridgewater's now connected on their last 3 field goals.
Lowry able to take the ball to the basket, and he lays it in, and we're going to have a whistle and a timeout taken here by the Lions with 13:43 remaining, and it's a 15-point Wheaton lead. So we're going to step aside and take a break. 13:43 remaining. Lions 58, Eagles 43. You're watching CSI 18th Annual Tournament of Heroes coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit.
We're back. It's a 58-43 lead for the Lions as Bridgewater with the basketball. The Lions got off to a 14-3 start to start this second half as that shot is up no good, and Lowy there to grab the rebound. Bridgewater edging their way back, Dave, but still finding themselves down by 15.
Yeah, and ironically, it was Wheaton that called the timeout following their make on the inside that allowed both teams to go to the bench and kind of prepare for the final stretch.
As Monty Simpkins took that one exploding down the lane to lay it up, he missed the shot, but he's going to draw the foul as Alex DeBro will pick up his second foul. As you have an opportunity to see that was Ripley that broke ahead of the field off that made basket by the Eagles. As the first free throw by Simpkins is up and in, he'll have one more coming as the Eagles try to close this deficit down to 13, trailing now 58-44.
Yeah, so Simpkins now with just 3 points on the evening. Bridgewater as a team tonight, 6 of 10 from the free throw line.
So one more free throw upcoming here for Simpkins. He hits them both, and they make it a 13-point game. So Bridgewater doing a nice job, Dave, hanging around and putting themselves in a position to make a run here in the second half. DeBro now working the ball out over to Ripley. Now it's Lima with the shot. That's up no good, and going up high is Greer to grab the rebound for the Eagles. Fed up over now to Caswell, who's open. Three-pointer is good.
Yeah, and now Bridgewater wants to talk it over now because now they're within 10 points, Mike, and with Williams on the bench, it's their chance here to take advantage as we have a 30-second timeout.
So why don't we keep it right here, Dave, as you have an opportunity to see Caswell bury that three-pointer for the Eagles. And Caswell's played very well tonight so far, as he has 15 points to lead all Eagles scorers.
Yeah, and, Mike, the interesting thing is that Bridgewater, they're 5 of 11 from the floor in this half, but they're 4 out of their last 5. So, they started out just 1 of 6 from the floor. They turned the ball over 3 times on, their first 6-7 possessions, and they've kind of righted the ship here. Now they've only been outscored 18-16 in this half, but it was getting ugly there for a while because Bridgewater just couldn't find the bottom of the net, and now finally they're starting to heat up.
Yeah, Wheaton scored 14 out of the first 17 points, Dave, and hoping to lead up to as many as 19. Now they find their lead down to 10. Is Lowry able to lay it up and in? And that's a nice play, Dave, once again getting the ball inside. Caswell kicking it out for the open three-point look that time, and that's up no good, but they're able to grab the rebound, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the floor. It's going to be Wheaton picking up their third personal.
Yeah, and for Bridgewater now, they're 7 of 20 from three-point range. Both teams are actually 7 of 20 from three-point range.
So it will be the Eagles now looking to inbound the basketball as they get the ball into Simpkins. Nice pass out in the corner. Now Caswell, he puts up that three-pointer, and nice shooter's roll as that goes in. And all of a sudden, the Bridgewater is down by single digits, 60-51.
And Caswell now with 18 points.
That three-pointer shot is no good. And Greer there to grab another rebound, but he gives the ball away as it's taken away beautifully by T.J. Turner. He can't hit the layup, but he draws the foul. That was a beautiful play, Dave.
Yeah, that was Lima, and he went down really hard. As you got another look at that. Luckily got up under his own power, and he will be going to the free throw line and not be substituted out. Still got a world of time left here in this one, Mike. 12:03, so plenty of time here, and the way Bridgewater's been shooting, they're going to find themselves right back in this game. Lima with a chance here to kind of stop the bleeding the other way.
So Lima hits the first. As you have an opportunity to see Greer grab the rebound and Lima to steal it away, and he'll have one more free throw upcoming.
Yeah, Wheaton just 2 of 6 from the free throw line in this game.
Lima, 75% free throw shooter coming into the game. As that second free throw is up and in, and it's now an 11-point Lion lead. Bowser with the basketball. Bowser working the ball out over to Turner. Turner now in the corner to Simpkins. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Simpkins looking to work the ball inside, feeds it out to Caswell, but Caswell loses the handle, and it's stolen away by Wheaton. As driving the ball down the lane is Carlisle. He can't hit the shot, but the rebound is grabbed, and another 20-second opportunity as Dubrow drives that one down the lane and lays it up and in, and the Lions open the lead back up to 13.
Yeah, so Dubrow now with his second field goal after being shut out in the first half. He now has 6 points.
13-point lead for Wheaton as they try to feed the ball inside. Bridgewater does, and it's another turnover. Dubrow feeding it to Carlisle. He misses the layup but draws the foul.
Yeah, what a nice job by Lima on the defensive end to get in the way of that pass down the other end of the floor, forcing the turnover, and now we have another media timeout here, Mike, as we'll break away again.
So 11:02 remaining here in the second half with the score. Wheaton 64, Bridgewater 51. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We're back with 11 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. And, you know, Dave, the rebounds are pretty even, 36-32, but Wheaton has out-rebounded Bridgewater on the offensive glass 14-7 and have 17 second chance points compared to just 7 for Bridgewater College.
Yeah, excellent, Mark. And you notice the difference between the two teams now, 14 points. And you can start to look at some of these statistics as being the reason why. And I really do think that, you know, the longer that Williams is on the bench and the more Wheaton is able to kind of buoy the lead, it just makes it so much harder for Bridgewater to get themselves back into it.
So the lead back up to 15. Bridgewater had cut it down to 9. That shot's going to be an air ball, and now Dubrow is going to be fouled in the back court. So Bridgewater now with 5 team fouls here, not even midway through the second half.
Yeah, so Wheaton now, again, quietly, after Bridgewater had whittled the lead down to 9 or 10, they had called a timeout to kind of reset and get themselves ready, but it's been Wheaton that has taken the advantage.
Lima with the basketball, and we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul. We're going to have a moving screen called on the play on Robbie Lowy, and Robbie didn't like it, but he picks up his third foul. And, you know, Dave, he's been playing with 2 for a long time. He's done a nice job staying out on the floor.
Yeah,
with the too early foul.
And it's because he's been able to stay off the floor that Wheaton's always been able to have a big presence inside, whether it be him or Williams. So Lowy's been able to stay on the floor while Williams is on the bench.
Murray feeding the ball out over to Greer. Greer now working it back over to Bowser. Back to Greer, whose long three-pointer is good. Bridgewater needed that one.
Yeah, they do, and they need to bury their open looks. That's something that really has hindered them throughout this game, is misfiring on the open shots. That time Greer gets it to go, and Bridgewater gets possession back.
That was a nice defensive play that time by Bridgewater as they forced Wheaton to commit the turnover. Only their second turnover here in the second half, as that's Greer feeding it up over to Turner. His three-pointer is up no good, and Carlisle there to grab the rebound for the Lions. Dubrow with the basketball, driving down the lane and lays it up and in. And Dave, they kept them quiet in the first half. 8 points through half of the second half.
Yeah, and that's a real confident piece of work that time by Dubrow as he got past Murray and, you know, was able to sidestep Greer as well on that last drive. And, you know, Mike, he was 0 for 8 at the half. He's now 3 of 11, so you could do the math. He's been perfect from the floor here in the second half.
Yeah, you see that nice hesitation dribble out at the top of the key before driving it to the basket. And now it's the Eagles with the basketball down 14 under 9:30 remaining here in the second half. Murray with the basketball. Murray's pass is going to be out of bounds, and that's not what Bridgewater needs as they commit a turnover. That's their 17th turnover of the game, their 4th of the second half.
Yeah, and on that last dead ball, Mike, Williams is able to come back into the game. Aaron Williams, who's come on now with 21 points, 10 of 14 from the floor. Only 3 rebounds, but he's been a nuisance for Bridgewater all game long.
Yeah, he shot the ball very effectively. So let's see what the Lions do on this possession as they get it right into Williams, who's able to split a double team and lay it up and in. Solid offensive move that time by Aaron Williams.
Yeah, and, you know, he does it against a 6'4 Liam Caswell and a 6'5 senior Dave Rion Greer. We're talking about a freshman kid here from Springfield, Mass, and he's gingerly holding his think, right or left hand, but seems to be okay.
So we're going to have a couple of free throws coming up here for Will Bowser. Bowser with 3 points on the afternoon, 2 of 5 shooting, and he'll go to the free throw line for the first time here tonight. And his first free throw is up and in.
After a tough start from the line, Bridgewater has shot well from the free throw line. They're now 8 of 12, and these are desperately needed points with the clock obviously not running. A chance here to cut the lead down. They're down by 15 now, and we're reaching that point of the game, Mike, the final 8-9 minutes, where you kind of think if you're going to get a couple of possessions a minute, you're looking now inside of 20 possessions, and you're going to need those possessions to make up 15 points.
So Bowser, a 68% free throw shooter, hits his first. He'll have one more upcoming. Just inside of 9 minutes remaining here in the second half, as his second free throw is up and in, and that'll make it a 14-point game.
So, and Lowy's going to come back into the game too. So now Wheaton going big with Williams and Lowy both in the game, and you couple Williams' 23 points with Lowy's 12 rebounds and 12 points.
And Dubrow able to take the ball right to the basket, but misses the layup. And the rebound is going to be grabbed by Hodge. Lima able to feed it off, and it's Greer who's able to lay it up and in. Greer's played very well tonight. He has 17.
He has, and he immediately attacked Lowy, who's playing with 3 fouls.
Cook working it over to Carlisle. Now it's Lowy out beyond the three-point line. Now over to Cook. Cook backing the ball out. Long cross-court pass up over to Dubrow with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Dubrow putting up the three-pointer. That's up. No good, but able to sneak in is Cook to grab the offensive rebound. Feed inside to Lowy, and that ball's going to be stolen away by Turner. Turner feeding the ball inside to Greer, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, beautiful transition play. First with the turnover, and then the beautiful feed inside, just like you said, by Greer. He now runs his total to 19 points.
Yeah,
a team lead.
Yeah, and it's now a 10-point game as it's Lowy the basketball. Let's see if Wheaton tries to get the ball inside. Lowy feeding it out over to Dubrow. Now Cook. Beautiful feed to Dubrow. The extra pass to Williams, who lays it up and in. Nice offensive play that time by the Lions. Williams now has 25.
Yeah, and Dubrow with his 10th assist, too. And that was a beautiful look to Williams, who made the heavy-handed finish.
Caswell working the ball back to Greer. His open three-pointer is up over the backboard. No good. So it will be Lion basketball, and it's going to be a media timeout with 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here in the second half. With the score, the Lions 72, the Eagles 60. You're watching the 18th annual Tournament of Heroes coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back with 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here in the second half. The Lions lead the Eagles by a score of 72-60. And Dave, the pace of the game has slowed down a little bit, but we still have had 122 shots put up so far this game and 74 rebounds.
Yeah, and a lot of that speaks to the transition nature of both of these teams. A lot of misses, especially in the first half, that led to a lot of transition buckets the other way.
So now it's Carlisle with the basketball, feeding it off to Cook. Now Dubrow looking to feed it inside to Lowry. Now Dubrow with the basketball. Dubrow, nice feed to Carlisle, and his floater in the lane is good. And Wheaton's been doing a nice job their last couple of possessions, running a little bit more shot clock and still getting a good shot. And they lead by 14 once again.
Yeah, and when they do make their baskets, Mike, it prevents Bridgewater from running and from using their transition game offensively, and they haven't been as good in the half court.
As that time, Langston put up a wild three-pointer. It led to a little bit of a fast break for the Lions as it couldn't be completed by Lowry, but he did draw the foul, and I believe that will be their 7th, Dave, so that's going to lead to actually the 6th, as that foul is going to be called on Kellen Hodge, his first foul. And that's going to be a shooting foul as Lowry was fouled in the act of shooting, and he hits the first, and they'll have one more upcoming, and the lead back to 15 now for Bridgewater and for Wheaton. And Bridgewater's been able to get as close as 9, Dave, but that's as close as they've come.
Yeah, and every time, Bridgewater has had a response, Wheaton has had an answer, and we saw both of these teams when they've been hot from the floor, actually call timeout after and make, and then have been victimized the other way.
As Caswell buries a big three-pointer to keep the Eagles within shouting distance. They're now down by 12.
Yeah, and Caswell is 5 of 7 from beyond the arc tonight. The rest of the team, 5 of 20.
So now it's Wheaton with the basketball as that's Cook pulling up for that three-point shot, and that's no good. And not sure about that shot selection that time by Cook, Dave, is that taking the ball to the basket and laying it up and having it blocked is Bowser, and now here comes Carlisle. Dubrow to Carlisle. His floater in the lane is up, no good, and now it's going to be Turner with the basketball. Turner trying to split the defenders, misses the shot, but he'll draw the foul.
Yeah, and again, it happens off the transition, so Bridgewater really taking advantage of the feverish breaks the other way to score points, and now able to do it from the free throw lines. You got another look at that Caswell three. He's been hot, especially here in the second half. He's run his total up now to 21 points. And he is 5 of 7 from beyond the arc, 3 of 6 everywhere else.
So Greer and Caswell are 15 of 26 from the field. The remainder of the Eagle team just 7 of 29, Dave.
Yeah, good point. And seems like every time they need a big basket, it's Caswell and Greer really taking ownership.
As Turner able to hit the free throws, and it's a 10-point lead once again. And, Bridgewater doing a nice job hanging tough and giving themselves an opportunity now with 5:27 remaining in the game. The last couple of possessions haven't been good shots for the Lions, but they take care of that by feeding it inside to Aaron Williams. He's got 27. Dave, he's been the best offensive player out on the floor.
Yeah, and at 6'5", he's a big guy, Mike, but he moves, pretty fluidly, and all he had to do was take a half step to get to the basket there. Nice job by the freshman.
Turner fakes the three, moves inside, and hits the jumper. So he scored 4 points in a row for the Eagles, and they make it a 10-point game once again.
Yeah, just staying involved. Bridgewater is a 4-0, 6-0 run away from making this a completely different game.
Williams out beyond the three-point line. That time a bad pass inside and fed ahead of the field to Greer, who's able to lay it up and in. And that's as close as the Eagles have been, Dave, since halftime when it was 40-32.
Yeah, this replicates the halftime deficit of 8 points. Bridgewater got into trouble very early and now have spent the last, 15 minutes or so getting it back.
As we have an opportunity to see that beautiful feed ahead to Greer, but now it's going to be Dubrow, I believe, going to the free throw line as both teams now are in the penalty, 7 fouls apiece. And Alex will go to the free throw line. He has 8 points all in the second half.
He's 1 for 2 from the line, and he misses the front end of a 1-and-1. And here comes Bridgewater transitioning the other way.
Big opportunity here for the Eagles. Greer feeding the ball inside and pulling up with the short jumper that time is Hodge, but he can't connect. Big miss that time, Dave, for
Yeah,
Bridgewater.
and Hodge hasn't played very much in this one. The sophomore got some extended minutes in the first half, but this is really the first look we've gotten of him in the second.
Let's see if the Lions make a concerted effort to run shot clock, as they already have it down now to 12. Dubrow under 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dubrow working the ball in the corner. Now it's going to be Carlisle with 3 on the shot clock. Carlisle driving down the lane and laying it up and in, and that's exactly what you want if you're Wheaton College,
Yeah,
Dave.
I'm telling you, they've had an answer almost every time.
Off-balance three-pointer that time by Turner is up no good. And a big rebound grab there by Wheaton as they could bring the ball up the floor now, and another opportunity to run down the shot clock.
Yeah, and if you're Wheaton College, that's exactly what you want. You don't want a shot exiting your hands until there's under 10 seconds left here, because now every possession becomes really important.
Carlisle putting up that long three-pointer. That's no good, but the ball tipped around, and a nice play by Ripley as that resets the shot clock to 20.
Yeah, now it's imperative for Bridgewater to get some stops.
Dubrow loses possession, and we're going to have a whistle, and it's going to be a jump ball, Dave. I think that's only the second jump ball possession of the game, Dave.
Yeah, and it's going to
if
go,
I'm not mistaken.
And it's going to go Bridgewater's way, as we're going to have a whistle, because I believe this is another media timeout as we're under 4 minutes to play.
So let's step aside and we'll take a break with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the game. Lions 79, Eagles 69. We'll step aside, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-44.
We're back with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the second half. The Lions lead the Eagles by 10. And, you know, Dave, Wheaton came out strong in the second half, started out on a 14-3 run. And, you know, Bridgewater's done a nice job keeping the second half close, down only a 2-point differential. But they find themselves down by 10. Time beginning to run out with just 2:53 remaining.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't say it any better than that. They have to maximize all of their possessions, and they get the benefits here, Mike, of a miss and then a defensive rebound via the jump ball. So the possession arrow at some point will be switched, but Bridgewater needs to make it hurt.
Caswell with that open three-pointer. That's up and no good, but a nice rebound that time by Bowser, but he can't hit the shot. And now it's going to be Wheaton with the basketball as they feed it ahead to Dubrow. Dubrow wisely backing the ball out with a 10-point lead and 17 on the shot clock. Open shot that time is up, no good. Greer there to grab another rebound. His 11th rebound of the game. Turner's pass inside is knocked away beautifully by Lowry and stolen by Carlisle as Dubrow goes to the floor. Caswell and Dubrow collided on that play as Caswell missed the shot and then picked up the foul.
Yeah, and Dubrow's going to go back to the line for another 1-and-1. The last time he was here, Mike, he missed the front end of the 1-and-1, and Bridgewater was able to take advantage of that miss. He's only 1 for 3 from the line. He's 2 points away from a double-double. He's got it in assists. He's got 10 assists, and that's his 9th point.
Yeah, so now the Lions get to 80, and they lead by 11. One more free throw opportunity coming up for Dubrow, and he hits them both.
And if you're Bridgewater, you have to start thinking about making baskets and potentially fouling or employing the heavy press on the inbounds the other way.
Yeah, they're a minimum of 4 possessions down, Dave, and that's a big turnover, and that might close the door on the Eagles here tonight.
Yeah, we should mention, too, that Lowy from Wheaton is playing with 4 fouls. I'm not sure when he picked up that 4th, but he's in the game, and Williams has come back in as well.
So
be an offense-defense scenario here for those two guys.
So the Eagles trying to trap in the backcourt, and they haven't done it much all game, and Wheaton breaking the press and getting the ball across the midcourt line. Lowry with the basketball. Nice feed to Ripley, inside to Williams, who lays it up and in, and he's got 29, Dave, and very efficient as well.
Yeah, efficient indeed. Only 26 minutes of action. He's averaging more than a point a minute.
And 14 of 18 from the field as Greer's going to draw the foul and lay it up and in.
I don't know. Somebody, inadvertent whistle, I think they called. I think they believed that Bridgewater had called a timeout after that make. They did not.
So a minute 32 remaining. Still a 12-point lead. So let's see if the Lions can get the ball in bounds. They do as they feed it ahead to Lowry. Now it's Carlisle. And if you're Wheaton here, Dave, no reason to rush a shot unless it's right at the basket.
They don't really even have to take one at this point.
Yeah, Dubrow with the basket, and he's going to draw the foul. And
yeah, dribbling away from the basket. You know, Dubrow is going to get a chance to go to the line again for a 1-and-1. Ill-advised foul.
Yeah, I mean, if you could commit that foul, 10 or 12 seconds ago, but again, down a minimum of 4 possessions. Dubrow hits the first, and he does. It's now a 5-possession game, and that's probably going to close the door on Bridgewater here tonight.
Wheaton with a very strong chance to even their record to 500 at 4-4, and get themselves in the 3 p.m. championship game tomorrow, where they'll await the winner of Curry and CSI. There's still a minute to go before that happens.
As Greer, who's played well all night long, lays that one up, and he's got 25 and 15 rebounds. He's played a very strong game for Bridgewater here tonight. Lima, Dubrow with the basketball, and Dubrow's going to be fouled, and he will go to the free throw line under 50 seconds remaining here in the game.
Yeah, Dubrow 4 of 7 from the line, so he's been the most active at the free throw line. Remember, he was shut out in the first half. No points on 0 of 8 shooting. He's only 3 of 13 from the floor, but he's got 11 points, 10 assists, 4 of them in this half.
It's the first to make it a 12-point game. Just a quick programming note. We're going to go off the air pretty quickly so we can get you set up for the second game of this doubleheader. Is CSI will be in action against Curry, and it should be a very exciting second half of the doubleheader, Dave.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. The Dolphins defending the Tournament of Heroes championship. They know what's on the line. They know why we're all here, obviously. To honor our heroes who perished on 9/11. It's going to be an interesting game, too.
So that time it was Turner getting to the line. He had 3 opportunities at the basket, but was not able to convert, as now Liam Caswell is going to pick up his second personal, as the Eagles now in the double bonus. And Robbie Lowry is going to go to the line to shoot 2, and he hits the first. And Lowry's played a good game as well. As we're going to have a series of substitutions here for Bridgewater, as Bridgewater is going to substitute out some players here and empty the bench a little bit as Lowry hits them both. And the lead is now back up to 15. 88-73 is taking the ball to the basket and jamming it home on the play is going to be Monty Simpkins, and that's going to make it a 13-point game. The shot clock is off. And it's going to be Dubrow with the basketball, and Dubrow doing a nice job here, the 5'9 senior. Struggled scoring the basketball, but that didn't prevent him from doing other things on the score sheet and then picking up 13 points here in the second half as the clock's going to wind down, and that's going to do it as the Wheaton Lions are able to defeat the Bridgewater College Eagles by a score of 88-75. Very entertaining first game of this Tournament of Heroes Championship, Dave.
Yeah, Mike, it was a good one. We were definitely treated to a good one, high-flying action both ways. We knew both these teams could score. We needed to figure out which team can hold the other team's offense down. Wheaton did that. Bridgewater had a great transition game, but they shot under 40% from the game. Wheaton shot 45%. Tough from three-point range for both teams, but really when it came down to it, Aaron Williams, 29 points in just 27 minutes of action. Robbie Lowy had a great game as well, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 13 and 10 for Alex DeBro. Fine afternoon for all those kids.
So that's going to do it for game number one. Once again, the final score, the Lions beat the Eagles by a final score of 88-75. So for my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto, our engineer, Nicholas Durst, Samantha Flecker, and Joe Foreman across the way, and Anita Lorenzo on the camera. Thanks for listening. We're going to go off the air just briefly. Don't forget to come right back as we'll get you ready for the start of the second game of this doubleheader between the College of Staten Island and Curry, as well as bring you the 18th annual Tournament of Heroes ceremonies. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes.